Phantom is on an explosive rally right now, targeting the previous all-time high all the way up at about this $3.45 range. So I want to break down for you exactly what I'm seeing right here and bring a voice of reason, because I know that a lot of people are getting very, very excited with this chart right now. I know that you guys wanted to hear my thoughts on it. And of course, this YouTube channel is all about grounding ourselves, bringing us down a couple notches. Whether we're making money or losing money, we must stay level-headed, and that's what this video is going to be about. So here's the thing, is that Phantom ended up making a really nice rally from, just a few days ago, just about a week ago, from the roughly $2 area, pumped all the way up to $3.15, 16, and saw a little bit of a retracement, and we're now forming another leg up again. The thing that makes this really, really cool for Phantom right here is that there's almost no resistance beyond, where it found resistance already, right? Beyond this $3.07 area, the only trading that Phantom ever had was here, and then of course these two little fake outs right here, which also don't count. So really the only areas that I want to focus your attention on are right here. And just to put this into perspective, right, historically, when Phantom was able to rise above this blue line, let's go ahead and take a look at how quickly it managed to rise up to that key $3.47, $3.50 area. It got the rise up right here, it got this breakout, and then it only took Phantom a matter of 9 hours to rise back to the $3.50 area for the first time ever. Then when it saw this correction and came back up, it took Phantom again only 14 hours to reach that very same level. Now if we take a look at where we are in comparison, this is going to give us a little bit of a hint of how long it might take Phantom, just going off its previous price history, to hit similar levels, right? So if we're looking at about 14 hours, we're already just a little bit into it. We're only about 4 hours into this breakout right now, so this can definitely mean that Phantom has quite a long way left to run just for the rest of today. But what I want to again ground us with and help us understand very, very importantly right now, because I know a lot of people are potentially getting ready to rush into positions, is that we are right in the middle of a key range right here. There is a a support area here at $3.07, hopefully support. We don't quite know that yet, but previously when Phantom fell down to this level, we did get some bounces, we did get some support down at this level, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, so make sure you smash up the like button if you're excited for me to talk about that. And by the way, guys, if you want to trade Phantom, it's right here on Bybit. This is the only exchange that I use, and you can sign up to it using my link in the description down below, because you're going to get over $4,000 for free when you sign up using that link and make your first Bitcoin deposit. So if you want to trade Phantom on leverage, I'm probably going to be doing something around this very, very soon, which I'll inform VIP members about. Bybit is of course the place to be. You will need a VPN depending on where you are in the world. I've done it before many times, but of course I can't recommend it. The thing is that right now it's got this is what I want you guys to visualize on the chart right now, is just understand where exactly we are so we can put all of this price action in proper context. The key area of support that I think we have here, the only area of support that I think we have anywhere close to right here, is going to be on the $3.07 level, and then that key resistance area is at $3.47. Right now we are smack bang in the middle of it, which means that there's a lot of potential to fuck up if you try trading in this range. If the market retraces, there's a big drop down. If the market finds resistance, there is a big rise up. And so whether you want to go short or if you want to buy, if it goes in the wrong direction, you have a lot of places where you can go wrong and lose money, compared to, for example, if Phantom managed to drop down to $3.07 right here, you would know that this is an area of support, and so you can fairly confidently, you would expect this to be an area of support usually, so you could probably confidently enter some positions over here, knowing that this is a good area to buy. Right where we are at the moment, we're right in the middle of a breakout, and if we measure this from the breakout point to our current price, we're already 7% above it. And then we've got another 5% up to that all-time high. It's just because it's in the middle of a range, it's so dangerous right now that to me it's absolutely not worth touching. Only people who are massive adrenaline junkies and borderline gambling addicts would be entertaining the price right now. And if that's you, you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why you're actually here. Are you here to make money, or are you here to feel an emotional roller coaster? And I promise you, if you're interested in trading this market right now, it's probably the latter. I know this because I've been there, and that's why I wanted to bring this to you right here, because The thing is that Phantom has been quite generous in terms of retesting previous all-time highs, right? I want to show you this chart right here, which I had already drawn out before the video. Take a look at this. If we take a look at this chart, this shows Phantom up to its current price level right now, which is just above the $3 mark. You can see that right here. But historically as well, I want to focus your attention on this all-time high that Phantom set right here, which was at about 6 cents. Phantom in June of 2019 set an all-time high at about 6 cents, crashed all the way down in the March coronavirus market crash, managed to rise all the way back up for a double top, and then found another rejection. And this was quite harsh, right? I mean, this is the 9th month of the year, and we didn't manage to break out until what was this? It must have been the 1st or 2nd month of 2021. So we're talking about like a good 4 or 5 months here that we saw another rejection from this 6 cents level. But as soon as we managed to rise back up, look at where the market just shot up to, right? It managed to rise all the way up by 1700%, showing us that these all-time high levels are very, very important. But Phantom is generous in giving us pullbacks right here. I think a lot of people don't want to pay attention to this right now, while everything is exciting. And granted, it can take a long time, and I'll show you why in just a moment. But we got a big pullback from this all-time high and another big pullback right here. We actually got 2 pullbacks, right? Originally, there was this one spike up, we got a pullback, then another spike up and another pullback. And I want to show you what happens at this next all-time high level, which is at the $1 area, 98 cents. Phantom manages to get that 1700% rise, which is absolutely fantastic. And it sets another all-time high, followed by setting that same all-time high as resistance. And as soon as we break out, take a look at what happens. It takes Phantom all the way up to the $1.80 level. So Phantom nearly doubles the previous all-time high. However, within a very short space of time, it ends up, and we're talking like this whole range here is less than 49 days. We're talking about, I don't know, like say 20 days for Phantom to set that all-time high and come all the way back down to retest the all-time high, which is what I want to see right here at the $3.10 area. This should say 3.10, not 3.1, because that's how we write currency numbers, by the way. Hopefully people don't need to know that, but yeah, this was my mistake here. And so this is the key thing that we saw already with Phantom, is that we get a really nice breakout, and it did take a little bit of time, right? It took about 3 weeks, let's say. I don't need to assume this. Let me just check this really quickly, because I think this accuracy is important. Let's check out the $1 area right here. It's this that we're looking for. So if I look at this all-time high at about $1.93 and we trace it down, oh my bad, it actually took about 12 days. So we're talking about just under 2 weeks for Phantom to come back down to this all-time high. And the reason that it's crashing down so much is just like any other shitcoin in the market, because most crypto coins operate like this, is that they rise so quickly that they don't actually manage to establish any resistance on the way up. And of course, that means that when the market does start crashing back down, because it always does, there's no support to be found. And that's exactly why this range right now is so dangerous, right? Phantom very well could keep on rising up, and that's fantastic if you have a holding position in it. But the problem here is that there's nowhere we can expect support on this chart for a further 7% drop right now, which is quite a lot. That's a big range. And if you're trading this on leverage, for example, you don't have many options until you're liquidated, right? There's just not much room for error with such a big range where the market isn't actually managing to establish resistance. This is actually why you guys see me primarily trading Bitcoin right here, because Bitcoin is a lot safer in this way. Bitcoin still has all of these very same, irrational cues, right? Look at this. We rise up very quickly in this price range. So of course, naturally, we drop down very quickly in the very same price range. Bitcoin does it too. But the difference is that this area spans across, roughly an 11%, 10% price gap, whereas for Phantom, if we just put this in perspective, this one is not too big, to be fair. This one is a similar number. We're looking at about 7% on the way up, and then about 6% on the way back down. But then you've got ranges like this, which are actually a lot larger. And if we measure this one, we're talking about a 15% range, right? So definitely quite a large gap here, where the market just generally, look at this huge jump right here. Zero resistance to be found for Phantom within a 76% area, right? So that's why when these things start tumbling, they tumble really, really hard. And the reason that I wanted to show this to you is just that, look, if you feel like you've missed a train or something like that, well, actually, Phantom does this quite a lot, where it has absolutely stellar rallies, but because its rally is so strong, it will need to cool off eventually. And, you know, generally there's only two ways you can cool off in a trend like this. Number one, you just kind of trade sideways and you consolidate that way, and that's called a time-based correction. And number two, you pull back and you have a price-based correction. And, you know, sometimes you get a mix of them both. But right here, take a look at this. Towards the very end of last year, we get a 5-day pump that takes Phantom up by 50%, and then a subsequent 33% crash within another 5 days. It literally comes down exactly as quickly as it goes up. And I'm not saying that we're going to see that again right now, because the thing to keep in mind is that as we get closer to these all-time high levels, and when we pass them, if we do, of course, because nothing is guaranteed, you know, we are looking at a situation where liquidity just gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And so while, you know, with time-based analysis, we can definitely be due for a correction, this thing can just keep flying progressively crazier and crazier, because realistically, guys, the only real reason that coins like this rise so much, including Bitcoin, and people hate to hear me say this, but that doesn't change the facts, is that people just don't want to sell these coins. You know, I was watching 𝗪𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗓 today, and he brought up something very, very interesting. Let me see if I can pull this up on this video as well, is that 70% US investors have bought Bitcoin for the first time in 2021. Let me see if I can pull this up just live on the video. Yeah, this is a similar article right here, but this is more what I'm talking about, this Fortune article, just basically describing right here, look, over half of Bitcoin's current investors got into the cryptocurrency this year. Now, a lot of people see headlines like this and they think that that's a good thing, but this is actually, I mean, like, it is a sign of adoption. I'm not denying that. My clothing choice is really weird today. I know, don't comment on it. And by the way, people asking me where we are. This is Dubai behind me, but you can't see it because there's a lot of daylight here. But the thing is that a lot of people get excited by these headlines, seeing that actually a lot of mainstream traders, you know, just normal people, have got into crypto as a sign of adoption. And I get what you mean there, but people have gotten into crypto while, largely speaking, coins like Phantom are in really, really nice uptrends. And all that really means is that now there are more people that can potentially panic sell if the markets start crashing again. This is really, really important, right? Because in the short term, of course, this euphoria can take this coin really, really high. You know, for a little bit of a price prediction, let's just do this for some fun right here. The previous all-time high right at this level was at roughly $1. And it took Phantom a very short space of time to nearly double it, just about 4 days, right? So if we're looking at some kind of similar price action right here, I'm not saying that we're going to double it, but within 4 days, I can certainly expect, you know, $4 or $5 to be, you know, on the agenda here. Because, I mean, pretty much the key thing to keep in mind in this kind of price range is that, you know, we top out at $3.50, but we're only, you know, the only reason that I think Phantom found resistance at $3.50 right here is because it's a psychological area of resistance, right? It's just a round number. This is the reason that Phantom topped out at $1. I'm sure that there's no technical reason that Phantom had to stop here, other than, I mean, there is no reason. It was only just that people decided, right, I've been in this coin for a long time and I want to take some profits at this round number because I'm a human and I work with round numbers like that. I think that's the same reason right here, for example, Phantom stopped at $2.50, which also happens to be a critical area of support. And by the way, like I said, we come down to retest these levels a lot. Look at this, an all-time high, blast off above it, and we're back down to test it twice until we eventually crash below it. And then again, this is exactly the same range that Phantom just came down to only days ago, just about 1 week ago that it was here. So you know, Phantom giving us a lot of retracements on this chart. It's a really, really good coin in terms of technical analysis, because it respects, you know, fairly simple, straightforward analysis really, really well, right? It's forming you know, patterns that look a little bit like this in terms of, you know, parallel channels, for example. It formed a big one right here. It's formed a smaller one just very recently. This is the other key thing that I'd be looking for on the chart right now, is just seeing, you know, are we getting ready to do something like that? But of course, if I zoom in and just show you what's happening on the hourly chart, there's absolutely no indication of it, because as I speak, we're setting new highs for the year right now. So I mean, the trend just isn't slowing down. There's absolutely no indication of any sort of consolidation at the moment, and so you know that means we are basically just right in the middle of a range, and we need to wait for, you know, a more polarizing level to come about, because I think right now there's quite large agreement that the market is probably going to rise higher, pretty much because there's never ever been resistance here, and of course that does, you know, put Phantom in a strong position. You know, the other thing that I want to just draw to your attention right here is that we're on the daily time frame, and this coin has got about 13 hours left to close. Now previously we've never seen a close above the $3.15 area. This was the highest close that Phantom ever got right here, and right now, I mean, if we're able to hold this level, that's going to be massively bullish for Phantom in the next few days. So if we do manage to get a close above this high, again, we could be looking at these kind of psychological areas of resistance to come up next beyond $3.50, because again, realistically, there's just not much resistance between Phantom now and at $3.50, and then when we consider volume, for example, it's just a perfect formula, right? Like in terms of a healthy coin that's ranging towards its all-time highs, Phantom is showing that sign right now. We've got rising volume. Look at this volume moving average line right here. It's got rising volume right now as the coin is approaching you know, quite an intense euphoric stage, but again, the thing that I want to remind you about is that, you know, right now, you know, before we had a nice run up for Phantom, and this one's actually a little bit faster, by the way, just to put this into context for you. This one took about 33 days for 162% pump, and from a similar price level last time, it took about, oh my bad, what am I talking about? This is actually slightly slower. That's strange. That's not what I expected to see. I suppose you could say that the rally kind of starts from here, but I don't want to be too picky with it. Let's just see what that shows. Yeah, so we could average it, but yeah, it is actually roughly similar. The thing is, though, which I think makes this different this time, is that last time Phantom was coming from, I mean, just a straight up bull market, but this time Phantom has experienced quite a sizable correction first, you know, a 64% drop, and then triggering a similar rally. To me, is a lot healthier than just coming from a rally to a rally to a rally, right? In this case, we've had a little bit of a bear market. There's been some time to cool off, and to me, that again puts Phantom in a more powerful position, and that's exactly why we take this thing back to Bitcoin. That's exactly why, if Bitcoin is able to break some of its immediate resistance levels at like $46,000, for example, I'm going to become really optimistic about Bitcoin passing that all-time high at 69K purely because it's had such a big series of corrections right now that it just naturally must be in a stronger place. Because guys, let's just keep this in mind from a psychological point of view in these markets. Is what happens during these corrections is that the wealth, the crypto, simply gets transferred from the hands of the impatient to the hands of the patient, and those people will generally be selling at those market tops because they're smarter traders. So again, we bring it back to Phantom when we talk about where this thing can go. Well, if it manages to pass this all-time high, because nothing is guaranteed, I must use the word if, then again, like I'm saying, I'm expecting those psychological round areas, those round numbers, to act as resistance for Phantom, right? Take a look at this. Phantom tops out at about $2.42, let's just say $2.50 right here. This is the rough range that Phantom tops out at. The next key area that it finds a pullback at, $2.67, nothing special about that, but then it just keeps running until almost exactly $3.50 right here. So we're looking at, you know, $1 marks, 50-cent marks, and so on. And so to me, you know, the next key area that I would be looking at would be anything just under $4, you know, $3.96, for example, as a potential ceiling for Phantom, at least temporarily, whether that means that we pull back from there or we reach this level and we just trade sideways. Or, I mean, you know, Phantom's consolidation ranges are pretty small a lot of the time, right? I mean, this just for, you know, just for example, I mean, only lasted 16 hours where Phantom was trending up and then paused and then continued trending up again, right? So we might, you know, we don't need to see large areas of consolidation. This is the nature of Phantom on this chart, is that it just moves up so quickly, and a big part of analysis is being able to understand these characteristics. You know, the other thing that I want to just take a look at while we are here is if we do manage to top out at this very same all-time high and set a more macro top, which would be somewhat surprising at this stage in the market, but if we do, you know, I would just like to draw Fibonacci from our absolute low to this peak right here and just see, are there any key levels on this chart which could be useful? The 618 level at $2 makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying that I think Phantom's going to come back down here, but if it did, this is the perfect support level for Phantom to find, in my opinion. It would also be quite a sizable drop. Let's just measure this really quickly. Yeah, that's a 40% drop. That's definitely quite a bit. And then on the Fibonacci retracement right here, just around this level, exactly what I was talking about as well, this $3 area roughly, you know, kind of acting as an area of support. These are the two key price levels that I would look at if we manage to top out at $3.50. And the thing to keep in mind is that I know there's a big price gap between these two levels at $3 and $2. However, that doesn't mean that there's a big time gap between reaching that. You know, take a look at how quickly this dump happened, where we actually managed to surpass $3. Phantom went from the $3 area down very close to the $2 area within less than 5 days. It took actually probably exactly 5 days. Let me just measure this again. Oh, my bad. Yeah, so it took about 4 days for Phantom to drop that much. So again, there may be a big price gap, but because we're experiencing such strong price action upwards, we absolutely must expect that this can flip and turn really, really sour if we start moving to the downside as well. Again, this all just being the voice of reason, right? I want to level us while we're all getting excited and just make sure that we're taking note of this market in a healthy way where we can actually respect our money and fully appreciate both sides of the same coin, because this coin can be very, very ugly. It can be very, very destructive if it wants to be. And just because we're potentially flirting with all-time highs right now, it is absolutely not an excuse to stop paying attention to the facts, the cold, hard facts. And you guys already know the deal. If you can't do that, or if you don't want to, you need to get the fuck off this YouTube channel, because your feelings are just going to keep getting hurt, but your wallet ain't going to get bigger. So that's obviously always the objective right here. I mean, just look at this. I know that this is a small pullback inside of a big rally, but you know, these kind of swings happening so quickly within the space of 10 minutes, already down by about 1%, just goes to show you that, you know, if you tried to enter a position right here, let's say you entered with 10x leverage close to the top, you'd already be in, I mean, a liquidation actually. No, you'd be in a 10% loss, you know, which is, yeah, quite sizable. I mean, you don't want to be losing more than, you know, 30% on any leverage trades, for example. So you're already incurring quite a large loss. I don't want to spend too much time analyzing these small time frame price action moves, but all I will say is that if this thing does start to drop again, there's zero resistance that was established here. I mean, we're only pausing for, I mean, we're on the 5-minute time frame. This is hideous. We're only pausing for like 20 minutes at a time and continuing to rise up. So there's absolutely no support that, resistance that this market managed to establish on the way up, which of course means it won't be able to enjoy any support if it starts dropping back down. And of course, you know, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but we must be aware of it just in case. And that's the thing, is that if we do start to come down, this is the first key level I'd be looking at, is anywhere kind of between $2.95, $3.07. And then the next area would be this key $2 area of support. Again, we've used it really, really nicely on this chart, and so I would love to see it being interacted with again. And then, you know, in between that, we've got quite a large range, so this is definitely something to be careful of in this market. I also want to take a quick glance at some of the key indicators I like to use to give me an idea of where markets are, and this shows us support levels are getting really, really high. So if we do, for example, manage to top out at $3.50 and come back down to this same area relatively soon, yeah, we could be looking at, you know, just towards the end of January, in about 10 days, a very nice Ichimoku cloud to support Phantom higher, which has already been quite useful for the market. Let's take a look at momentum as well, very much on our side in this market right here, also showing us that if Phantom does come for a quick rip back down, it should be able to find support in this short-term market right now. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. There's nothing I can say on the 1 hour time frame. And then finally, the daily time frame, a very, very long-term outlook. Yeah, again, showing us that this support was to be expected, although we're not going to be able to expect much support from the daily momentum for quite some time right now. And so that's what I'm seeing right here for Phantom. Hopefully this has cleared the air a little bit. I know, again, that there's a lot of excitement here, and I'm not saying that that excitement ought to be killed, although actually I'm saying that now. Yeah, there should never be any space for excitement. Guys, actually, you know, one of the key things that I talk to VIP members about, you know, at the very first, you know, moment that you join is that there shouldn't be any space for happiness or sadness in these markets, right? If you have the opportunity to feel happy or excited about your investment, that means you will also have the opportunity to feel unhappy and and shameful, or I don't even know what the right word is, of your investment when things go bad, right? I mean, it's the same reason that if you let somebody else be the reason that you're happy and then that person leaves you, you're going to be extremely, extremely unhappy and completely hopeless because you are not in control of yourself. In this case, a coin is. It's a very, very bad position to be in because not only does it make you a bitch, but it also means that your decision making will regularly be compromised in these markets, you know, because of things that are out of your control, and that is extremely, extremely harmful. You know, what I'm trying to build on this channel, what I'm sure you would like to be by watching this channel, is a high functioning, successful trader that's consistently making profits in these markets, and you're not going to get there if you're open to having any emotions in this market. If that sounds complicated to you and you're not sure how to even get there, that's completely fine, because I'm teaching you how to do it when you join 𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧 VIP. So all you got to do is jump into the first link in the description down below. That is going to take you to my free Telegram channel, where I'm giving you even more analysis on these markets completely free of charge. Just like this, you're getting it pinged straight to your phone around the clock. And then over there, you can click the first link, the @𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧 button at the bottom of any post inside of 𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧 Gold. You can do this on your phone, do this on your laptop right now. It'll only take you, I mean, like less than 30 seconds. It's very, very quick. And then click on send message and ask me how to join. If I'm not online to respond to you, one of my assistants will be, and we'll get you in within the next, hour. It's a very, very quick process, and we'll teach you exactly how to remove those emotions. When you join, most people who join are going to be getting completely free access into one of our 𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧 Academy courses, where I teach you everything I know about analysis and trading. You get a full insight into how I've been able to build my psychology as a trader to where it is right now, so you can skip all the BS. The fact of the matter right now, ladies and gents, is that this market is so hot, right? We're in a situation where there's so much volatility right now. There's so many opportunities to be making profits right here, and if you're not able to operate at your absolute best because you just haven't learned yet, or you have more mistakes to learn from, or you just feel like it's not worth investing in yourself, you are not going to be maximizing your potential, and you may in fact be hurting yourself. And so at a time like this, I would love to be able to just grab this market by the fucking balls and crush it. And of course, you wouldn't be able to do that if you're not fully prepared. Put it this way: if you think you'll be a better trader 1 year from now than today, I'm saying, why make that 1 year from now? Why not make it next week? That has always been my approach. I want the most unfair advantages I can have, and I want them quickly as a trader, because this market is very, very hot, and I don't want to be missing these opportunities. So if you want to jump inside and see exactly how over 1,000 other people have been able to join VIP and do that, then follow these steps on screen. Again, if you want to trade Phantom or just use the very same exchange that I'm using, it is Bybit, and it's linked down below. You're going to get up to $4,100 completely free of charge when you follow my link in the description to sign up to Bybit and then make your first Bitcoin deposit. That will also take you less than 10 minutes, and you can do whatever you like with that money. It's yours and it is free, so take advantage of that while you can. Final thing I want to show you right here: fear and greed index still at 21. Pretty good, definitely indicating that people are still quite scared in this market. I will give you a more full Bitcoin analysis update later on today, but for now I figured it's time to make a video on Phantom, because I know everyone is very, very excited with it at the moment, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Of course, you know what to do. If you have, do me a favor, hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the very next one. Bye bye.